All right, everyone to your places.
We're ready in here, sir.
How are we in the studio?
Stand by, sir. Hit the lights.
Yes, sir. Striking.
Quiet on the set, please. We're on in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Buenas noches, soy Daniel Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo.
And here we go with another show here. This is our second show in the windy month of March.
It is windy.
Hold on to your hats and your rakes and everything out there if you're doing some early yard work. We may still get snow.
Maybe snow on Sunday, they're saying.
It. Snow
Maybe.
on Sunday, right?
As of this taping, snow is in the forecast somewhere around.
Where's our weather reporter?
the week?
March, yes.
The weather person is on vacation. So, News and Community Bulletin Board, Adele Quo is here with...
It's easy being green.
Indeed she is. CBB, as I mentioned. Denise is doing a review on Taming of the Shrew tonight, a News for Seniors segment, and then a roll-in Miriam Gennari and another installment of her Sustainable Scoop. That's our show. But before we begin
Day two.
the beginning, it's a social media reminder.
Right, Craig. Well, you
From
can
my
watch
party.
the Arlington Weekly News on
Oh,
our
my goodness.
YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News. And you guessed it, the number 1. Also, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. We're all over social media, Craig. We're covering
out there.
all of the top
We're
We're
stories.
just
Out there,
regular
social
social media
All right,
gurus.
gracias, Senor Pineda. Here we go now with the first of our news items. Well, Wednesday, March 8th, was International Women's Day. Locally, some activists chose to highlight women's contributions to society by not showing up to work. The Day Without a Woman general strike was facilitated by the Women's March on Washington organizers. Protesters participated in a variety of ways besides not going to work. They also chose only to shop at women or minority-owned small businesses, or to avoid shopping altogether. How would they ever do that? Or by wearing red. Sorry for that comment.
Commentary there with
Your
Mr.
turn.
Nolan.
Your turn, Daniel.
Well, Craig, Arlington Weekly News has previously reported on Arlington Economic Development Startup Arlington competition. The goal is to attract up-and-coming technology companies to the county by providing winners with financial and other types of support. Well, this year, Boston-based GreenSight Economics won the competition. They competed against 128 other applicants from 18 states and 6 foreign nations. GreenSight has several local connections, including contractors, and investors. They provide aerial imagery from automated drones. The data is then converted into business intelligence or used to determine the actions of other automated systems. In the future, their information could be fed to decision-making systems for autonomous robots. Very incredible. Right, Craig?
Absolutely. And also, thank you, Daniel, also in our news items, speaking of smart decision-making, did you know that you can tap into the Arlington County Library's Energy Lending Library? The library was created by Arlington Initiative to Rethink Energy, AIRE, or AIR, and the library, along with the library. Arlington Public Library has the distinction of being the nation's first energy lending library. The collection includes thermal imaging cameras, energy meters, and books on home energy waste and solutions. There are also efficiency tools available to anyone with an Arlington Public Library card. You can visit this website, should be on your screen there, library.arlingtonva.us/AZ-list/AIRE, AIRE-energy-lending-library, and they'll have more information for you there. Daniel.
Get your pencils out for that one, right? That's
that
a
one.
long one. Well, Craig, the warm weather may have energized a lot of athletically oriented residents to go, well, cycling this month. Bike Arlington reports that February had an all-time high bike count. The Roslyn Bikeometer registered 1,609 bikes on February the 23rd, the highest February count since the installation was set up in April 2014. February overall was the busiest since the counter initiative started in 2009. Craig,
Amazing. With all that 75-degree weather we had in February, why not?
enjoying the tennis too.
I'm sure you
Why
were.
aren't the pools open?
As promised now, here comes Adele Quo and her segment of...
It's easy being green.
Minus, what happened to Joe Treefrog?
Well,
here tonight? I noticed Joe's
Joe
not here.
is on vacation. We've got to
Joe.
shake things up a little bit
Joe's
because we're
what?
going to start Easy Being Green with a question to my handsome anchor.
Oh, wow. Since you put
You're
it that
very
way,
nice today.
I am.
I'll come
So-
up with an answer of some sort.
Is your contract
Family
up?
Feud style. What's the number one nuisance creature munching on and causing havoc in your garden?
Squirrels.
Squirrels.
And?
Well, my guess would be rabbits. They're devastating.
Oh, yeah, they're-
Malariae, but
All right, what do they do on Family Feud?
Triple D.
we miss. And the answer is...
You're wrong.
It's going to be the deer.
Oh, yeah,
dear, the deer.
They're out there.
We were close.
Yeah, you were.
Lots of them.
But close, but not enough. More gardeners complain about hungry deer chomping and destroying garden beds than any other critters. The cute and adorable white-tailed deer seem to be everywhere, on your lawn, in your garden, and all over the roads. Ironically, Bambi and friends almost disappeared from Virginia in the early 1930s from overhunting. The Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, VDGIF, started to import deer from other states and restocked areas until 1992. Fast forward to the present, the VDGIF estimate Virginia's deer population is now about 1 million strong and growing. There are more deer in Virginia now than when the first colonists landed at Jamestown in 1607. There are just too many deer, and their numbers are becoming unsustainable. Deer face little threat from their natural large predators, especially in northern Virginia. The wolves, cougars, and coyotes are gone now, leaving the deer herds the potential to double in size every year. Hunting is the primary tool to keep deer in check, but deer have become a huge threat to the biodiversity of our forests. The deer eat their way through the forests, removing the shrub layer, eating the acorns, hickory nuts, and tree seedlings, and causing our native wildflowers on the forest floor to disappear from the landscape. Non-native invasive plants move in, resulting in a low diversity landscape. Other wildlife and plant communities in our forest ecosystem are thrown out of whack and negatively impacted. Further, deer prefer an edge habitat, so they thrive in our fragmented urban landscape that the humans have created. After overbrowsing the woodland understory, they feast on the ornamental plants that the buffets grown in our suburban yards. Each deer eats on average 5 to 15 pounds of plant material each day, relying on broadleaf plants, twigs, buds, nuts, and whatever else we like to plant in our yards and that occur in our natural areas. To discourage deer browsing in your garden, select less palatable native plants, which include shiny, aromatic, fuzzy, and or prickly plants. But if they're hungry, they'll just eat anything, including the deer-resistant plants. You can email me at adelek.easybeingreen@gmail.com, and I'll send you my list of deer-resistant Chesapeake Bay native plants. Remember, it's easy being green.
You don't have a tiny URL in that, right?
Yeah, that's just an email address. Pretty simple.
How about
Adele K.
cacti? I think cacti would do it.
Oh yeah, put a bunch of cacti in, and you should be.
I can't imagine any
critter-free.
critter wanting to eat cacti.
Well,
and that's an
prickly pear
interesting,
cacti are they are edible. We can eat
except
them.
for the thorns.
Well, you want to
they
take the
got on
thorns
them.
off.
That's an interesting statistic
might want
that there are now more deer in
Yes.
Virginia than there were in 1607
That's correct.
when
Wow.
the first colonists arrived in Jamestown. That is quite a
You did your research.
Yet
quite
they
a
almost
statistic.
almost disappeared.
good research. All right,
Wow.
thanks Adele. We
Thank you, Adele.
appreciate it. Here we go as promised now, our CBB, Community Bulletin Board file. Well, Friday, March 17 is St. Patrick's Day. Clarendon's Shamrock Bar Crawl will not happen this year, although there will be probably one in the district, most likely. Instead, you can bar hop on your own to some top Arlington-based Irish-themed pubs. This selection is courtesy of arlnow.com. Number one on the list is the Celtic House at 2500 Columbia Pike. Ireland's Four Courts right down there in Clarendon, 2051 Wilson Boulevard. Actually, they're in Courthouse, I think. Samuel Beckett's Irish Gastro Pub, 2800 South Randolph Street. O'Sullivan's Irish Pub, they're at 3207 Washington Boulevard. And P. Brennan's Irish Pub at 2910 Columbia Pike. Those are the few of the fine Irish establishments that will be holding their own there on St. Patrick's Day coming up the 17th. Daniel.
Well, Craig, I know that you're ready for this one. Yes, the 2017 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament, a.k.a., you guessed it, March Madness, will run from Tuesday, March the 14th until Monday, April the 3rd. Thrillist.com recommends that Arlington-based Bracket Room in its top 10 lists of best DC area bars to watch the games. The website Eater.com recommends both the Bracket Room and Open Road Grill and Ice House. Open Road will have happy hours starting at noon and discount bucket of wings and beer combos. Sounds very good and enticing, Craig.
Can't beat March Madness.
No one's working at noon nowadays? Teleworking or what?
In our CBB file, Sober Ride will be in effect on St. Patty's Day night. This time there will be a slight change to the operations. Instead of using taxi cabs for a free ride for this program, they're using Lyft. The free rides will run from 4 p.m. Friday, March 17 until 4 a.m. Saturday morning, March 18. You can just enter code SOBERRIDE into the promotion section of the ride, and that should get you to where you need to go. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Northern Virginia Restaurant Week will be from March the 20th to the 27th. For the fourth straight year, you can try a variety of cuisine at a wide range of establishments at special prices across Northern Virginia. Be sure to use OpenTable.com to RSVP and take advantage of the special pricing and food and beverages options available only that week. Visit the website NOVAR, that's NovaRestaurantWeek.com for more information. Craig.
And also in our CBB file, consider the welfare of property that all residents share and enjoy by helping to clean up 4 Mile Run. That's coming up March 19 from 10 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. Volunteers will meet at 5 different areas along the stream bank to pick up trash. The meeting spots are, note these, jot them down, Madison Manor, Glen Carlin, Barcroft Park, Shirlington Park, and near Arlington Mill Community Center. Be sure to wear weatherproof boots and gloves. Collection bags will be provided. Children under 18 need supervision from a parent or guardian. For more information and details, give them a call. Number should be on your screen, 703-525-0168. Or you can email parkrangers@arlingtonva.us or visit parks.arlingtonva.us and then click on the phrase stream cleanup. So help them get out there and clean up 4 Mile Run. Daniel.
Well, Craig, some homeowners are concerned that the yo-yo temperatures we've experienced this season are part of climate change and want to invest in clean energy technology. There will be information available at the ACE Climate Action Forum. You can learn about the solar co-ops, installation options, energy audits, and much more. The event will be at the Central Library on Sunday, March the 19th from 3:30 to 6:15 p.m. Register at, and we do have another tiny URL, that's tinyurl.com/ace-climate-action-forum. Craig.
All right, just a little URL, about this big. For another way you can save money and live greener, make a rain barrel. You can learn how for only $55 at 2 upcoming workshops. First one Saturday, March 25, starting at 10:30 in the morning at Walter Reed Community Center. You must register. They'd like you to register in advance for that one. You can visit tinyurl, just a little URL.com/build-a-rain-barrel to register and then pay your fee in advance. That's it for our CBB file. We'll be back with news for seniors. Yes, okay. Yes, we'll be back with news for seniors right after another installment of Sustainable Scoop. Is that right?
Denise.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Denise. My pardon. Pardon me, Denise. Here's Denise in her review. Take 2. Her reviews.
Continuing in their season of silence, Cinetic Theatre has brought back a popular favorite, The Taming of the Shrew. This adaptation by Pata Tishkerishvili sets Baptista, a wealthy fashion designer, in modern-day Padua wood. He has two daughters, Bianca and Katerina. Bianca is surrounded by suitors, all clamoring for her hand in marriage, but he insists that his ill-tempered older daughter, Katerina, be married first. Katerina scares off all her prospects, so Baptista offers a huge dowry to improve her chances. Eccentric painter Petruchio, lured by the money, shows up and gets Katerina to marry him. His subsequent harsh treatment of his bride breaks her spirit, and when she discovers the money, she intends to leave him. Then she discovers his work, all massive portraits of her. She accepts this as proof of his love, and they settle down to a hopefully more peaceful, loving future. Irina Tishkerishvili has choreographed and directed the show and portrays Katerina. The modern glitzy setting allows her to incorporate more slick, hip-hop style dancing and helps make this production a rousing crowd pleaser. Ryan Sellers is the strong-willed Petruchio and proves to be a worthy match for his fiery mate. Anastasia Rorikov-Symes designed the sets and costumes for the show. 5 large set pieces morph from textured backdrops to screens for the projected images and finally to the Katerina portraits. The costumes are done in bright neon colors, so the production becomes a dazzling feast for the eyes. The adaptation of the character Baptista as a fashion designer allows her the license to create a great spoof of Victoria's Secret's fashion shows. Her angels sport wings that are eye-catching and dramatic, and at the same time silly enough to contribute to the humor of the show. The jewel-tone unitards of the paint colors that Petruchio uses are really inspired. But the biggest laugh comes with Petruchio's wedding garb. Traditionally, he is dressed in ridiculous clothing that contrasts with Katerina's beautiful bridal attire. But Anastasia reimagines the Elizabethan codpiece in a new level of hilarity. Enjoy this raucous, if somewhat risque, version of The Taming of the Shrew through March 19th. Let Cinetic Theatre show you how they can convincingly perform a Shakespearean classic without words. I'm Denise Pringle for Rich Masabny. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Denise, and her spin on Taming of the Shrew, a classic. Okay, here we go as promised now. News for Seniors segment. Well, here's a paying job opportunity for Senior Services of America, Inc. They administer the Agriculture Conservation Services program, which enrolls seniors in temporary paid assignments. They provide technical services which support the conservation-related programs of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Jobs include conservation planning assistance, technical consultation, and assistance with design and implementation of conservation practices. Enrollees work 16 to 40 hours a week. They must be at least 55 years of age and legally eligible to work in the United States. To learn more, check out their website, should be on your screen, http://www.seniorserviceamerica.org. Daniel.
Inc.
Inc.
Well, Craig, the University of Rochester Medical Center publication highlights guidelines for aging successfully. They recently dealt with dementia and falling. Contrary to popular belief, dementia is not a normal part of aging, but can have a number of causes, diseases, reactions to medications, vision and hearing problems, infections, nutritional imbalances, diabetes, and renal failure. There are many forms of dementia, and some can be temporary. Craig.
And also, thank you, Danny, also on our News for Seniors file, the most common late-in-life mental health condition is depression. Untreated depression in the elderly can be very serious. If you think anyone in your family, a friend or neighbor is suffering from depression, you should encourage them to see a doctor as soon as they can. Daniel.
Well, Craig, among seniors, falls are the leading cause of injuries, hospital admissions for trauma, and deaths due to injury. 1 in every 3 seniors aged 65 and older fall each year. Exercises to improve balance and strength, medication review, plus home modifications can help reduce injury. As additional precautions, good home security prevents intrusion, and home-based fire prevention devices should be in place and easy to use. You can learn more about senior health risks. That's on their website, www.urmc.rochester.edu/senior-health/aging.aspx. You can also contact Arlington Area Agency on Aging. That's on their website, aging-disability.arlingtonva.us/. Craig.
All right, thanks, Daniel. And we'll be back with bye-bye and sign off right after we hear from Miriam Gennari and another installment of her Sustainable Scoop. Here's Miriam.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. I've met a lot of people in Arlington, some that I really like, some that I'll never forget. But few I admire more than the woman that is joining me today, Portia Clark. Portia is the founder of CARE Inc., and she's also the current Civic Association president of the Knock community. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It is an honor to have you here for many, many reasons. But let me start by just letting you describe to our viewers what the organization CARE is that you started.
CARE is an acronym. It's a Community Association for Resources for Education, Enrichment, and Economics Incorporated. And we started it in 1996 to serve disadvantaged communities and youth.
And so that's the reason you started it. Tell me about some of the people that you've touched with that organization.
Well, we started focusing on teenage pregnancy prevention, and it led us to do a lot more work with the parents of the youth that we were working with. So over the years, we've transitioned to develop relationships with several community partners. Knox Civic Association is one of those partners, but we support them with the resources we are able to obtain and help them with special events and promoting the community overall.
And now Knock, not only is it a vibrant community, but there's a lot of civic engagement. How does that help the community to represent itself when there's development or transportation or other education issues that come up?
Well, Knock has changed a lot over the years, and some would say it's what's gentrification, which is not something we want to stop because it's going to happen whether we want it to or not. But the demographics have shifted. Knock has been a well-established community of African American residents, and as we see the shift with new housing, and it's the last affordable housing area in Arlington, it just brings in a diverse population that is changing where we live and have lived for years.
And traditionally, in African American communities, they're not always as civically engaged, probably because they're working really hard, they're really busy, they're focused in their church. So how does getting this CARE community and the Civic Association invigorated help really to educate the entire county?
Well, something we focus on a lot is the special events that we do throughout the year. And we do have a very active Civic Association, which over the years, it's been reported that we probably have more in attendance than most. So with a lot of younger people coming in, at one time it was very aging, but we still have a mix of individuals that are involved, and a lot of the younger residents are coming in and they're wanting to get involved now. Of course, everybody gets involved around issues,
Right.
You know, affordable housing and all the rest.
But you're not only involved in issues, but you're also out in front so that the community sees you as a leader. You've been recognized many times. Your birthday is a huge celebration for everyone because you really are an institution. I was at George Mason University when they gave out the Karen Mortensen Award. That's Don Byer's great-grandmother, I think. And it was for engaged leaders that are women in our community, and they recognized you, and you got a standing ovation.
Well, it was an honor to receive that award by the Bayer office that Mr. Byer was very gracious in recognizing all that I've done over the years. And
Now, I know that you've been asked repeatedly to run for office. In fact, many years ago when I ran for office, I asked if you'd take my place after we met. So there's another election coming up. You know, some people aren't as engaged as they should be. Seems like now maybe they might be a little bit more. What are some questions that you'd like people to ask the school board as well as the county board when they're going to their civic association meetings?
well, certainly the school in our neighborhood is under a transition period where it goes back to, again, the African American history of it in 1972 when it was desegregated. So right now it's a matter of how we're going to help our kids from the neighborhood to achieve academically. It's been 2 programs in one building, Montessori and a traditional program. In 2019, Montessori will be relocated. So I think people and parents really need to get on board and understanding what's the new Drew going to look like in the future. What are we doing to ensure that all kids are educated and that the academic achievement gap just doesn't continue to widen.
And that when kids graduate, they do go on to...
And that they are prepared for the 21st century that we live in and can operate and obtain jobs with meaningful employment. So whether they go to college or whether they learn skills.
And then, of course, affordable housing as well.
Yes, because many of us face that challenge today where our kids have to leave the community because they can't afford the housing.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come here and educate and remind us about the importance of civic engagement. People want to get in touch with you. How do they do that?
Well, through the Knox Civic Association website, which
I have that, ncaarlington.org. Again, ncaarlington.org. That was Portia Clark, president of the Knox Civic Association. Thanks for joining us. And I want to thank all of you for, again, joining us for the Arlington Weekly News' Sustainable Scoop. Back to the news desk.
All right. Thanks, Miriam.
Thank you, Miriam.
And Portia Clark, we appreciate your sustainable scoop every week. Okay, well, we're about done here. Yeah, I mean, are you ready for the snow? That's what.
No more snow.
That's what they're
We're
forecasting. I mean, we could have snow coming up this weekend, but we have various opinions.
It's not allowed to snow.
It's not allowed to snow in March.
If it snows
snow
in
on St.
April,
Patty's
oh my
Day. What do you think? Oh my goodness. It's been quite a month so far.
Certainly.
Very windy, and we're lucky in a lot of ways because a lot of the country has been slammed with all kinds of really severe weather, winds and snow and floods and fires and everything. So we're lucky, we're blessed, I guess, that we've just had a little bit of wind and cold.
Cold is
A
not
little
good.
cold,
though.
no. Just for you tennis players.
Yeah.
But that's our show. Anything else to add?
That should do it,
Before we
correct?
go, that should do it. That's it.
Hopefully Joe Tree Frog will be back
Hopefully
next
Joe will
week.
be back and Bison Bob over down there
And let's do
Sorry,
family.
Bob.
will be
Let's
replaced
do
by.
Family Feud.
We like
next
the
week.
Family Feud.
Yeah,
that was
Family
good.
Feud was
All right,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I had to offer a guess there of some sort, and it wasn't the rabbits; it was the deer. Okay, that's our show. We got to go. Thanks, Mr. Bill. Next week, have a safe week. If you're there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Take care. Bye bye.